We've done this before. We've had these arguments and had this conversation. And every time, like, the same weird stuff happens.
Welcome to The Exit Interview, the show where couples break up and then get back together and talk things out. A few months ago, Zach and I broke up, and I personally regret that decision. I would like to get back together. Our relationship ended because my line of work, I have to take jobs that are a little bit more risque, and I didn't think he would appreciate those things, so I kept them from him whenever I got a job like that. And just like in any sitcom, they always find out, and anger arose. Well, before we bring him in, let's hear his side of the story.
It was awesome. Katy is super smart and super fun and super creative. She's an actress, and she does all kinds of crazy stuff, but she does like nude scenes and sex scenes, which I don't care about. That was never the problem. And I had told Katy just to tell me things, just to talk to me, just be open and honest. And I kept catching her, so we broke up because it just felt uncomfortable. I see myself getting back together with her, but I also know that I have a pretty wild imagination.
Well, now that we've heard his side of the story, let's bring him in.
Are you upset with me already? I literally walked in the room just now.
I invited you here today because we are best friends. Yeah, give or take, probably give a little more. We're really good together, and if it wasn't for just the misunderstanding and a few heated feelings getting in the way, we would be fine. And I know you feel that all the time when we're hanging out alone. There's chemistry there still, and it's killing me to not say how I feel literally every time I see you.
Yes, there is definitely chemistry, but that doesn't, like we've talked about a million times, like there's an aspect of relationships, there's a couple that you just have to get right. Like if some things are broken, it just doesn't work. If you were just honest, like in the beginning, and if we didn't start like the negative cycle, because it's hard to fix a negative cycle, you know? Like it's obviously we're fun together. There's not a single human on earth that would say we weren't, but like, is it worth it thing? I feel like we've had this conversation.
We have, but I feel like we're more miserable apart. I feel like we can just get past the one nick, because it's the only nick we had. Everything else was sunshine and rainbows.
It's not a nick, because it's representative of things. Like if you're nervous about me, if you think all the time that I'm always gonna act in like the worst way, then you have this expectation that I'm just this monster, which
That's
I'm not.
That wasn't
that's what
the
it feels like.
expectation.
Because well, if you say like,
it's the same way as if you being paranoid all the time. You gotta trust me to know that I'm not gonna do anything. But that started
because I was very clear, and you didn't. I don't care. I just said tell me, and because you don't tell me that, again, that means you won't tell me other things. That means you don't trust me inherently.
I never said I didn't trust you.
I think you're just missing the general point.
It's not what I'm doing that makes me nervous to tell you. It's your reaction.
Which happened because you start lying. And I get mad. When I do get mad, it's never at you. It's just mad that it doesn't work. Like nothing works. My life is plagued with just trial after trial that just goes wrong. Like, if I'm gonna be there, like let me be a part of it. Don't like force me out because you're nervous.
I mean, you're not wrong. It's a big hump to go over. But like, it's not just me. Because if it was just me, you wouldn't be here. And I feel that deep down inside of me. That's not just me. It really isn't.
No, of course not. You're amazing. And I've always told you that. Like, I'll never not have your back. I think that's why I still keep myself in this super weird group we live in and play games every weekend and see you at bars and do things, and because you're a part of my like family of people here, and I love that, and you are an amazing human, and you're like still one of my best friends. Like, you're incredible. It's a really hard thing. There's a lot to it, and if we mess it all up, we mess up a lot of things and we hurt a lot of people.
I mean, it's been good so far.
If this implodes, then we lose a lot. I lose my family, and I worked really hard to make like a life out here.
I get it and I understand, And I wouldn't be here asking you to risk everything if I didn't think it was worth the risk.
I'm saying, what do we do actively? Because we've done this before. We've had these arguments and had this conversation.
I don't want to regret not trying.
Yeah.
And the only way that I can see this, fixing this or mending this in any way, you and I trying it out, no one knows about it, there's no pressure, no one's asking me questions constantly about how it's going, and then I get nervous because it might not work, and then I start hiding things again. If it's just you and me, it'll work. I know it will. I don't want to throw something like this away.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm here. I'm not here for no reason. Can I process? Can I think about things, process? Yeah. Yeah. So just give me a minute.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
We talk again. Let me collect myself and maybe go sit in a corner for a little while, I am tense. Can you tell? I am super tense, if you can't tell. I mean, obviously, I'm all worked up. We had something really awesome. We have something really awesome. And I'm a sucker for that. And I definitely feel a lot for her still. Relationships are so hard nowadays. There's so much. And if it sucks already, we didn't even date a year. What's it gonna be later? There will be a moment where she gets it and we can communicate. It'll happen eventually, whether it's today or in 20 years, but she's not there yet. And that terrifies me. I don't want to ruin what life I have to try again when it's just gonna be the same problems.
Peachy. Feeling peachy. I mean, he has a lot of valid points, always, and he's right, but so am I, and I'm not gonna give up, and that's why I'm here. It was either torture for the rest of our existence until one of us eventually meets someone and hurts the other even more, or try. And I am a trier, so. They've always been changes that I can make. We've had this discussion so many times before, but the fact that he's here gives me so much faith that it's gonna end in a positive note. And I'm hoping that it ends in a positive note, because I know I'm right about this. It's it. I know it's it. Okay.
What's up?
I just want to amplify once again that I would like to try. Based on feelings and our experiences together and being friends and having the same friend groups, the same interests, and that the unmistakable, is that a good word? An unmistakable chemistry that we have between us and the type of future we saw and everything. I can't give up on it. And I think so highly of you, and there's so much about you that I am in love with, and I can't let it go.
Can we start with coffee? Can we my reservations and this is wonderful, us talking and doing these things. But we have to live some and see if this sinks in at all.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not gonna go jump in your car and go home. We need to talk and try to reset a little bit, not just jump back in. Because that's stupid. Let's hang out and try to not be weird. We won't put anything off the table. We'll just
be.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I think this is a good place to stop being in the limelight for this, and we can go grab some food.
Let's do that. Let's go have lunch. We'll talk, because it's not like we're gonna leave each other's lives and it's just gonna be weird. So let's either go implode or figure it out. It'll be one or the other, but at least we won't be in limbo,
I would like to not be in limbo. That would be great.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for watching the exit interview.
If you like this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up.
And don't forget to subscribe to AwesomenessTV for more great, awkward, fun content. Thanks for watching.
Bye.